Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We go to the Shanti part. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanno Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we saw that the previous verse was Matru Deva Bhava, Pitru Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava, Titi Deva Bhava, and all that. Just telling you, never to get away from your duties and, to help us to connect with God. These are the people you see God into. And now we are going to go to verse 3, which is a very revolutionary kind of verse. Very interesting. Because here, what the teachers are telling the student, very, very, very practical thing. That, learn whatever is just right and good thing from us. If you see something negative in the teacher, don't start following that, because that will hurt you. And when we see Swamiji's commentary, and we will see that it's not that the teacher is some full of vices and all, but once in a while, if they are born in this body and they have a vice, happen to have that, don't follow that. His teacher is telling himself that don't do it, And the other thing which can happen is that firstly, teacher is being extremely modest and very practical and very sincere. It's possible that I have some shortcoming, number one. And number two, what Swamiji is going to say, sometimes the students project some thing on them. वो नहीं भी होगा ना, teacher में कुछ कमियां तो उसको दिखाई देगी. See what I'm trying to say? That teacher may have, no such trait that he's saying, oh, वो तो teacher तो ऐसा है, वैसा है, and things like that. So in case either one of them, what they are saying is that the teachers firstly are not superhumans, and if you happen to project anything negative, don't follow that. And then what is right and what is wrong, वो तो शास्त्र में दिया हुआ है, right? उसमें तो कोई two ways नहीं है. If you want to go in Dharma Shastra and all, that whole list is there. If you have doubt about certain actions and all that, just follow the righteous actions. That's what he's trying to say. So हिंदी में यहाँ पर लिखा, उन्होंने बोला, केवल वो ही कर्म करो जो अच्छे और बिना दोष वाले हों, दूसरे नहीं. जो भी अच्छे आचरण और अच्छे व्यवहार हैं, तुम उन्हीं को अपनाओ, दूसरों को नहीं. चाहे वो टीचर हो, चाहे वो स्कूल हो, चाहे वो कुछ भी हो. Like I was, like in Houston, there's a Rice University. And they have this stupidest tradition over there. Some beer day or something is there, and they keep drinking, beer, and some of them get sick and probably end up in a hospital. It's like, oh, I'm in this school, so I have to do this. खुद का भी तो दिमाग है कि नहीं? Just because the school is doing it with some stupid tradition, you don't need to go and do it. See what I'm saying? If the alcohol doesn't suit you or stay in your limit or something. So, it's very practical advice. Any question before we read? Okay, any volunteers to read? Meena ji, you can read. You came after.
Did you do the Sanskrit?
Oh, no, you're right. See, that's why we were missing you. Yes, I didn't. You are
because I was listening. I was trying to listen to your recording, and that's what I.
Yeah, no, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Here it is. Yani anavadyani. Yani anavadyani karmani tani sevitvani no itarani yani akasmaks sucharitani tani tvaya upasyani no itarani. Yani is such. Anavadyani means action free from blemish. Karmani actions. Tani is those. Sevitvani is must be done. And then it says no. No means and not. Itrani is others. Don't do other kind of actions. Do only righteous and no other. That's what it means. Yani is which. Akasmakam. Pertaining to us. Because the teacher is saying. Suchi tarani. Virtuous action. Whatever actions pertaining to us are virtuous, that only you follow. Tani is those. Tvaya is by you. Upasyani is must be followed. Again, the word no is come from na plus u. And not itrani others. Thank you, Minaji, for reminding me. Okay, so now you can read.
The Hindi also. Do you have the Hindi?
Hindi, I did it. केवल वो ही कर्म करो जो अच्छे और बिना दोष वाले हों.
Okay,
Right?
yeah.
I did that, yeah.
That's fine. Am I reading it?
Yeah, you're reading it.
Oh, okay. Let only the actions that are free from blemishes be done, and not others. You must follow only those virtuous actions which are irreproachable and not others.
So irreproachable is free from blame, because I had to look up that word also, because we don't use that word everyday language. So yeah, free from blame, yeah.
At the conclusion of the second thought wave, the declaration of the teacher gains for itself a roar of sincerity almost unequaled in any other religious literature in the world, both in the modesty and selfless dedication to truth. Philosophy being a subjective science, and since its blessings can be only gained by us by actually living it, apart from its logic and reason, the theory must have the dynamism of the teacher with it to inspire the student at all times. If this reverence and respect for the teacher be not there, the moment suspicion and doubt creep into our minds regarding the purity and sincerity of the teacher, the philosophy that is declared becomes immediately impotent in our hearts. Therefore, the teacher says, follow only the irreproachable qualities in us.
So he's just telling you that how those teachers were so sincere, because their whole goal was that these guys should connect to God and make their life better. And in that process, when you see certain maybe negative thing that you may think it's negative, it could be a bad habit of a teacher or some kind of a mental trait, then you will start kind of not have a respect for them or things like that. तो पहली टीचर ने बोल दिया कि देखो जो मेरे में जो कमी है उसको देखो ही मत. पहली बोल दिया, या देखो भी तो उसको फॉलो मत करो. So that's what they are trying to say, because that to keep that respect for the teacher is very important. And even in this modern world, I see that sometimes there could be some Mahatma, certain mistakes obviously are very, very kind of unforgivable types. I'm not talking about those, but in general I'm saying, अगर उसने 1000 अच्छी चीजें की होगी और एक कुछ किया जो तुम्हारे साथ बैठता नहीं है ठीक, तो you will discount those 1000 things, and even with Ram Bhagwan, I see that उन्होंने सीता को त्याग दिया, तो कोई लोग उसी को पकड़ के बैठ जाते, इतना आर्ग्यू करेंगे, इतना जो बाकी 1000 काम किया उसको नहीं देखेंगे और समझने की भी कोशिश नहीं करेंगे. If you really want to learn what happened, you have to go sit in some Mahatma's feet and learn about it, because they can analyze it better, that why he did what he did. But if we look at it from the worldly perspective, we will not understand it. So that's what it is, that और कृष्ण भगवान को, अरे वो तो उन्होंने तो छल किया, अरे क्यों किया छल वो भी जाके सुन लो, उन्हीं से सुन लो कि क्यों किया छल नहीं छल किया. That's what he's talking about.
Umaji, when we joined Chinmaya Mission and when we saw our Gurudev Ji, what this is not or something that you put.
Yeah, and people criticize him a lot for it. True. He had that habit.
Mm-hmm. He had the habit. There was a reason, I think, for
maybe some medical reason. We don't know.
Yes, there was something, and because we didn't know when we joined, we said, how can we follow him when he's doing such thing? I mean, the whole thing of what following him made not reasonable till we understood it.
Exactly.
And then it was like ignored. We just didn't see it after that. Once that was understood, why he was doing it, okay, that was it. So and there was no question at all then.
See, शिव भगवान का जो कैरेक्टर दिखाया है ना, मतलब इफ यू सी इन द पुराणिक स्टोरी एंड ऑल, ही मतलब वो भांग पीते हैं, ये है वो है. किसी ने बोला कि तो हम लोग भी पी सकते हैं भांग, चलो. तो किसी ने बोला कि सेंट ने बोला पहले विष पी के दिखाओ, उसके बाद भांग भी पी लेना. उन्होंने विष पिया था, राइट? So you cannot say कि he can, somebody can digest that whatever, you won't be able to, you will go crazy. Or like there is a very famous story about this, I think it was a Neem Karoli Baba, the one that Steve Jobs used to go and see. And even the other, this Facebook wale ka kya naam hai? That young fellow who has a Facebook. वो भी गया था वहाँ पे. जुकरबर्ग, हाँ, वहाँ वो भी गया था. और उसके पहले ना एक रामदास करके होता था, वो गया था वहाँ पे. And he was a professor from Harvard, I think. Then he changed his name to Ramdas. So when he went in those days in the 60s, there were like, ये लोग कुछ LSD वगैरह गोली खाते थे. Very horrible, powerful drug that messed you up completely, So, but that time they were experimenting with it. I'm getting some spiritual thing and all that. So वो गया वहाँ पे, this professor, and he went to this, I think it was Neem Karoli Baba, one of the saints. I'm not 100%, so I don't want to say it. But, and then he said, he was discussing with him, and then he showed him those pills, and he said that what I'm going to give you, there's nothing to do. ये pill से तुमको मिलेगा, उससे 1000 गुना ज़्यादा मिलेगा तुमको. So फेंक दो ये सब pill. And he was keep saying pill. So then this saint, it seems, took the entire bottle and he swallowed it. उसको कुछ नहीं हुआ. I know, I'm seeing Meenaji's eyes going well. You go on the internet and read this story. This is a true story but told by whom? Because their thing is so powerful, their spirituality, वो कुछ भी पचा सकते हैं. तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो खा रहा है तो तुम भी खा जाओ. तुम तो सीधा स्वर्ग पहुंच जाओगे. स्वर्ग या नरक, जहां भी जाने वाले हो. So that's why I said do not copy. Because first see, are you capable of doing that? Is your mind and body capable of doing that? Then you go forward. But you can't just blindly copy anyone. Even your own colleagues and all, you cannot copy in anything. So here, that's why the teacher is just telling you. We are talking about moral and immoral stuff or righteous stuff, but even in generally I'm talking about.
This does not mean that the teacher is full of vices, but the rishi is extra careful. Rishi is extra careful to avoid all possibilities of any misjudgment. Even when an individual has no weakness, it is possible that an observer may project his own mental evaluations and come to criticize and condemn the other. As a remedy to all such mental mischiefs, the teacher, accepting this natural weakness in man, exhorts him to follow only those irreproachable qualities, habits, and conducts noticed in the teacher, not others. Meaning, if there be any unhealthy trait, even though the teacher may practice it, on no score should it be copied and followed by a true student of this culture.
So very clear, right? So he's both the possibilities he's shutting down. One is उसमें सचमुच कुछ कमियां हो और या कोई प्रोजेक्ट की कोई कमी हो जो हो भी नहीं तो भी वो लोग स्टूडेंट सोचने लगे उसमें है. सब कुछ छोड़ दो और खाली अच्छी चीजें लेके जाओ.
This portion clearly shows the attitude which the teacher maintained in the presence of the students. Neither did they, for a moment, pose themselves as superhuman, nor as colossus of purity, strength, or divinity. They behaved among the students as though they were mere mortals with all possible weaknesses, which a mortal is here to.
So he's just saying that the teacher did not pretend to be superhuman or anything like that. Say, you are mortal, I'm also mortal, and just look at me that way. He's just giving you knowledge that if you do this, then you can reach the highest, But as far as physical thing and mental makeup and all that, both are mortals. Because somebody was saying that even saints and sages, ऐसा नहीं उनको कभी गुस्सा नहीं आता है. उनमें भी वही सब है तो आता भी, बट उनको मालूम है मैनेज कैसे करने का. लाइक चिन्मयानंद जी यूज्ड टू से दैट दे यूज if you are really a saintly person, you will use that गुस्सा like a tool. कभी कभी जरूरत पड़ती है. हाँ, पर हम लोग जैसे बह जाएंगे वैसे नहीं. So but suppose if you the student who's कच्चा student, I mean he'll see this teacher getting angry. सब जगह तो बोला कृष्ण भगवान ने बोला है कि anger is a problem, and why is he doing this anger? or acting like this without understanding, you might project some things on them, so that's what it can be. और ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि सचमुच भी गुस्सा आ जाए, temporarily बह भी जाए. और एक दृष्टांत मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा जिसमें, and you will understand the point. So it seems that एक साधु के सामने ना एक डिवोटी बैठा था और एक लंबी लिस्ट बता रहा था कि साधु को ऐसा होना चाहिए, मीन्स टिक मार्क करा कि ही शुड बी दिस वे, उसको सुबह उठना चाहिए, उसको ये इतनी पूजा करना चाहिए, इतना वो करना चाहिए, सब कुछ लंबी लिस्ट. मे बी उसको जज कर रहा होगा. तो वो साधु ने बोला, तेरे पास पूरी लिस्ट है तो तू ही क्यों नहीं बन जाता साधु? Why are you telling me that तुझे ऐसा होना चाहिए? अगर तेरे पास लिस्ट है तो तू ही बन जा. मीन्स कहने का मतलब इतना आसान नहीं है लंबी लिस्ट लेके बैठ जाना कि भाई ऐसा ऐसा करो. अगर उसमें से 10 में से 8 क्वालिटी भी है तो वो साधु ही है. एक दो में भी he may be working on it too.
Yeah. Wearing this look of ordinary, behaving as an ordinary mortal, these men of perfection faced their students, and this, in fact, was a secret of their success in spreading this transcendental culture among a people living the lives, contentions in their day-to-day existence.
Sorry, I was not listening.
Okay, let's go back.
Yeah, just read it one more time because I was looking at something else.
Wearing this look of ordinary, behaving as an ordinary mortal, these men of perfection faced their students, and this, in fact, was the secret of their success in spreading this transcendental culture among a people living the lives, contentions in their day-to-day existence.
Okay, so I think he's just trying to say that because they didn't act like a superhuman in those, and all that I'm something special, that's why I'm doing, you can say that it's like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Like that's what Swamiji used to say, Chinmayananji. If I can do this, you can do it too. Because, I'm like you only. And, I remember it was like a Dalai Lama who came to UT Austin, and our son was studying over there. And I went to that whole thing. And everybody was like looking at him as a God has come. इतना reverence मैंने ये Texas students में और दूसरे भी होंगे बाहर के students भी 1,200 people assembled to hear him. And the first thing he said to everybody was, I'm no different than you. I'm just like you. And everybody just melted away. कहाँ तो वो उसको भगवान मान. But he was so humble and so sweet. I'm like, I'd heard about that, but I got to witness his first hand. And that how So that's what he's trying to say, that they're just projecting themselves. I'm like you only, don't worry. If I can do, you can do it too.
It makes it at ease the other students.
There you go. You don't think that, कोई दूर ऐसे आसन पे बिठा दिया किसी को, you feel like, I can never approach. I can never be like him. But if somebody comes and sits next to you and puts his hand on your shoulder and say, hey, I'm your friend or something, how you will look at it differently.
Definitely, yes. The greater the teacher and the firmer his realization, we find that easier he comes down to move shoulder to shoulder with the students in a spirit of easy,
camaraderie,
yes, and unmistakable friendship. The formalities of distance between the teacher and the taught are insisted upon and maintained only by those uncertain masters who have not the confidence in their own knowledge or the charity to remember their own days of confusion, and who have not come to sympathize fully with their students.
So he's just saying that people who अपने आप को distance बना के रखते हैं ना, उनको खुद में ही वो confidence नहीं होता. जितना ज़्यादा वो ऊंचा होता है, उतना उसको humility उसमें होती है. And this is a true story from our own Acharya in Houston. He said that he was like a young man. This is Gaurang Bhai. You know Gaurang Bhai, right? Gaurang Bhai was, he had a job and everything. And then when Chinmayananji came first time, when he had the opportunity to go listen to him, even Gaurang Bhai was like, didn't believe in all these saints and sages and all that, and very reluctantly. And उन दिनों में Indians कम होते थे, तो किसी ने उनको पूछा था कि will you, offer him one day lunch or dinner or something, and इन्होंने मना कर दिया था गौरंग भाई ने, because he did not connect in those days. फिर बाद में जब उनका लेक्चर सुना ना, तो वो उनके डिवोटी ऑलमोस्ट बन गए, और उनको इतना बुरा लगा कि मैंने I let go of the opportunity to have lunch with him, right? So then later on, one time he told Chinmayananji that, hey, one time they had asked me to prepare lunch for you, and me and my wife didn't do it, and I'm feeling very bad about it. And they were in some other town. And you know what Chinmayananji said? No problem, you want to have lunch with me? Come on, let's have it today. Let's go to a restaurant. Yes, and they went together to a restaurant. Chinmayananji ke saath gaye wo. Because he was so normal, and he didn't mind going to a restaurant with him because he saw some potential in him. This is a true story that Gaurang Bhai told us ourselves, that we had that lunch with Chinmayananji in a restaurant because I told him that, and he said, no problem. That's what it is talking about over here. Amazing.
Beautiful. This portion clearly shows again that whether it be an individual or an institution, they are not sanctioned by our shastras to continue indulgence in any weakness, even though their teacher had practiced it. Smoking of tobacco, ganja, etc., indulging in non-vegetarian diet, even drinking alcohol are being practiced today in this country by individuals and institutions, and their justification seems to be that their teacher, once upon a time, did indulge in these. The portion now under discussion clearly dispels any doubt upon the point whether such indulgence are justifiable or not. A weakness is always a weakness, and no seeker has a right to perpetuate it. No institution should entertain this audacity to argue for it.
So he's just saying that पूरा seal कर दिया उन्होंने बाकी ये वाले verse में. And then here I was looking at this sentence that justification seemed to be that their teacher once upon a time indulged in them. तो पहले चाहे कुछ करते होंगे. Like I heard that Chinmayananji, as a teenager, he smoked cigarette. Okay? Yes. Right?
Yeah.
So Chinmayananji भी तो करते थे, फिर तो मैं भी करूँगा. So no. Just because somebody else is doing, and you don't know, the thing is, we don't know the whole circumstances of somebody either. That why they did what they did, and how they came out of it. And then he had the spirituality seed in him from previous lives. And sometimes they might do certain things, it's like that whole story of Ratnakar Daku, who became Valmiki Rishi, So because he used to do killing. So now, all the Dakus will say, oh, हम भी killing करेंगे, हम राम राम बोलेंगे, हम लोग भी change हो जाएंगे. You are not Ratnakar Daku. और इतना surrender आ गया तुम में तो बात अलग है. So just blindly don't follow things, and especially if they are negative, please don't do it. That's what he's trying to say.
मुझे एक और बात है ना कि वो कह रहे हैं because our guru used to do it. What about all the other things that guru was doing? Are you copying those?
वो तो करेंगे नहीं. और वो एक बुरी आदत लेके बैठ जाएंगे, वो गुरु ने किया था. फिर बोलेंगे, oh, why I'm not making progress? Yeah, absolutely. So true.
But one bad thing they did, but 1,000 positive things they did. We don't follow even single one of them.
There you said it. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Or even currently, like there are a couple of young people in India, who are really coming up very fast because they have some substance in them. उनके भी वो जो ये लोग जो होते हैं ना नेगेटिव वाले बैठे रहते हैं, कहाँ से ढूंढूं मैं इनके बीच में कुछ नेगेटिव. और अगर मुंह से कुछ गलत भी निकल गया ना बाय मिस्टेक, when you're talking, giving a प्रवचन, कोई कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं समझ में आया, कुछ कर दिया, कुछ बोल दिया, उसी को लेके पकड़ के बैठ जाएंगे. Hours they will discuss कि इसने तो ऐसा बोल दिया, उसको इंसल्ट कर दिया, इसको इंसल्ट कर दिया. My God. And it's like, are you stupid or what? Why are you not thinking ki exactly what you said? He's telling other 100 things and you are not following that. And then sometimes these poor guys will apologize too. Hey, maybe if I said something wrong, don't go after it if you don't like it. I'm not God or something. They admit it too. That, kabhi heat of passion mein kuch word nikal gaya, kuch ho gaya, So it is so true that people who just nitpick, जिसको बोलते हैं ना, that if you start doing, and in Bhagavad Gita itself, we have Krishna Bhagwan ने 2-3 बार use किया है the word, उसको बोलते हैं सूयते. सूयते means taking out small faults in somebody. Krishna Bhagwan बोलते हैं if you are that kind of personality, Bhagavad Gita is not for you. पूरा उन्होंने बोल दिया ये. And then he told Arjuna that I am giving you this gyan because you don't nitpick on small things. But that's a very, very negative trait. Huh?
This also applies to your life, where everybody you come in contact with,
very true.
Instead of looking for his shortcomings, look at what he has to offer.
So true. But we, as a human being, if we don't contemplate upon these things, we get caught up in small things very fast, right?
Right.
Yeah. So true. So I think all these verses have a lot of other implications also, like you said, Ananti, that in our life, how we should look at other people and all that. Even ordinary people, they don't have to be saints, but everybody has some good qualities. But we have a habit of just hanging on to the negative. Yeah, true. Any other question, comment on anything?
The only hard part, Umaji, is trying to see the positive of the other person. Because it's easier to just find the negative things.
I think the only way we can do that is thinking about it, that just look at ourselves. Would we like when other people point out negatives in us, or rather they will be happy if they look at positive in us, right? So same way, it's the same thing. Put yourself in our shoe. Yeah, that would make us change it. And then also when we are on the road and when we meet with strangers and all, they might be acting in a strange way. We don't know what they have gone through, right? They may have gone through some hardship, something, and some problem in the family, some problem at job, and you don't know. So if you have a little bit of that compassion thing in you, then you won't judge them and let it go. Some people come and India में तो बहुत होता है खैर कि वो लाइन ब्रेक करेंगे एंड आगे आएंगे एंड ऑल दैट. यहाँ पर नहीं होता है, कभी बेचारे पीछे ही रहते हैं अपने. तो कोई 1-2 बार आ भी गया. इंडिया में तो पीपल आर वेरी नाइस. They will even stop in the car and they will let you cross and things like that, They have such good, heart over here for these kind of manners. And for that only, hey, now everybody's in a hurry, but if you are a little bit more hurry, maybe you have a reason, go. Please go. So I think these are good things to kind of think about and follow. Any other thing anybody has before we close? Okay, we can meet next time then. Okay, I'll do the closing prayer. Sorry. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhaved. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, we'll see you next time then.
Hari Om, everyone.
Hari Om.